Jeremiah 37 to 39. Now Zedekiah the son of Josiah reigned as king instead of Coniah the son of Jehoiakim, whom Nebuchadnezzar king of Babylon made king in the land of Judah. But neither he nor his servants nor the people of the land listened to the words of Yahweh, which he spoke by the prophet Jeremiah. The king Zedekiah sent Jehukal the son of Shelemiah and Zephaniah the son of Messiah the Kohen to the prophet Jeremiah, saying, Pray now to Yahweh our God for us. Now Jeremiah came in and went out among the people, for they had not put him into prison. Pharaoh's army had come out of Egypt, and when the Kestim, who were besieging Jerusalem, heard news of them, they broke up from Jerusalem. Then the word of Yahweh came to the prophet Jeremiah, saying, This is what Yahweh the God of Israel says. You shall tell the king of Judah, who sent you to me to inquire of me, Behold, Pharaoh's army, which has come out to help you, will return to Egypt and to their own land. And the Kestim will come again and fight against this city, and they will take it and burn it with fire. This is what Yahweh says. Do not deceive yourselves, saying, The Kestim will surely depart from us, for they will not depart. For though you had struck the whole army of the Kestim who fight against you, and only wounded men remained among them, they would each rise up in his tent and burn the city with fire. And it came to pass, when the army of the Kestim had broken up from Jerusalem for fear of Pharaoh's army, that Jeremiah went out of Jerusalem to go into the land of Benjamin to receive his portion there, in the middle of the people. And when he was in Benjamin's gate, a captain of the guard was there, whose name was Irijah, the son of Shelemiah, the son of Hananiah. And he seized Jeremiah the prophet, saying, You are deserting to the Kestim? And Jeremiah said, False, I am not deserting the Kestim. But he would not listen to him. So Irijah seized Jeremiah and brought him to the princes. Therefore the princes were angry with Jeremiah and struck him, and put him in prison in the house of Jonathan the scribe, for they had made that the prison. When Jeremiah had come into the pit and into the cells, and Jeremiah had remained there many days, then King Zedekiah sent and had him brought out. The king asked him secretly in his house, Is there any word from Yahweh? And Jeremiah said, There is. He also said, You will be delivered into the hand of the king of Babylon. Jeremiah then said to King Zedekiah, How have I sinned against you, against your servants, and against this people, that ye have put me in prison? Now where are the prophets who prophesied to you, saying, The king of Babylon will not come against you, nor against this land? Now please hear, my lord the king. Please hear my supplication be presented before you, that you not cause me to return to the house of Jonathan the scribe, lest I die there. So King Zedekiah commanded, and they committed Jeremiah into the court of the guard. They gave him daily loaf of bread out of the baker's streets, until the bread in the city was gone. Thus Jeremiah remained in the court of the guard. Shephatah, the son of Mattan, the Gedaliah, the son of Pashur, the Jukal, the son of Shelemiah, and Pashur, the son of Melchiah, heard the words that Jeremiah spoke to all the people, saying, This is what Yahweh says. He who stays in this city will die by the sword, by the famine, and by the pestilence. But he who goes out to the Kestim will live, and he will escape with his life, and he will live. This is what Yahweh says. The city will surely be given into the hand of the army of the king of Babylon, and he will take it. Then the princes said to the king, Please let this man be put to death, because he weakens the hands of the men of war who remain in this city, and the hands of all the people, in speaking such words to them. This man does not seek the welfare of this people, but harm. So King Zedekiah said, Behold, he is in your hand, for the king cannot do anything to oppose you. Then they took Jeremiah and threw him into the pit of Malchijah, the king's son. That was in the court of the guard. And they let down Jeremiah with cords. In the pit there was no water, but mire, and Jeremiah sank in the mire. Now when Ebed-Melech, the Ethiopian, a eunuch, who was in the king's house, heard that they had put Jeremiah in the dungeon, The king was sitting in Benjamin's gate. Ebed-melech went out of the king's house and spoke to the king, saying, My lord the king, these men have done evil in all that they have done to Jeremiah the prophet, whom they have cast into the dungeon. He is likely to die in the place where he is, because of the famine, for there is no more bread in the city. Then the king commanded Ebed-melech the Ethiopian, saying, Take from here 30 men with you, and take up Jeremiah the prophet out of the pit before he dies. So Ebed-melech took the men with him, and went into the house of the king under the treasury, and took from these rags and worn-out garments, and let them down by cords into the pit to Jeremiah. Then Ebed-melech the Ethiopian said to Jeremiah, Now put these rags and worn-out garments under your armpits, under the cords. And Jeremiah did so. So they drew up Jeremiah with the cords, and took him up out of the dungeon. And Jeremiah remained in the court of the guard. Then King Zedekiah sent and took Jeremiah the prophet to himself into the third entry that is in the house of Yahweh. Then the king said to Jeremiah, I will ask you something. Hide nothing from me. Then Jeremiah said to Zedekiah, If I declare it to you, will you not surely put me to death? If I give you counsel, will you not listen to me? So King Zedekiah swore secretly to Jeremiah, saying, As Yahweh lives, who made us this soul, I will not put you to death, neither will I give you into the hand of the men who seek your life. Jeremiah therefore said to Zedekiah, This is what Adonai Elohim Sebaot, the God of Israel, says. If you go out to the king of Babylon's princes, then your soul will live, and this city will not be burned with fire, and you will live along with your house. But if you will not go out to the princes of the king of Babylon, then this city will be given into the hand of the Casdim, and they will burn it with fire, and you will not escape out of their hand. King Zedekiah said to Jeremiah, I am afraid of the Jews who have deserted to the Casdim, lest they deliver me into their hand, and they mock me. But Jeremiah said, They will not deliver you. Please obey the voice of Yahweh. In that which I speak to you, so it'll be well with you, and your soul will live. But if you refuse to go out, this is the word that Yahweh has shown to me. And behold, all the women who are left in the house of the king of Judah will be brought out to the princes of the king of Babylon, and those women will say, Your close friends have misled you, and have prevailed over you. Your feet have sunk in the mire. They have turned away from you. They will bring out all your wives and your children to the Casdim. You will not escape out of their hand, but will be taken by the hand of the king of Babylon, and he will cause the city to be burned with fire. Then Zedekiah said to Jeremiah, Let no man know of these words, and you will not die. But if the princes hear that I have talked with you, and they come to you and tell you, Declare to us now what you have said to the king, do not hide it from us, and we will not put you to death. Also, tell us what the king said to you. Then you shall tell them, I presented my supplication before the king, that he would not cause me to return to Jonathan's house and die there. Then all the princes came to Jeremiah and asked him, and he told them according to all these words that the king had commanded. So they stopped speaking with him, for the matter was not perceived. So Jeremiah staying in the court of the guard until the day of Jerusalem was taken. In the 9th year Zedekiah king of Judah, in the 10th month Nebuchadnezzar king of Babylon and all his army came against Jerusalem and besieged it. In the 11th year of Zedekiah, in the 4th month, on the 9th day of the month, a breach was made in the city. Then all the princes of the king of Babylon came in and sat in the middle of the gate. Nergal, Sharezer, Zamgar-Nebo, Sarsekim, Rebsaris, Nergal, Sharezer, Rebmag, with all the rest of the princes of the king of Babylon. When Zedekiah saw the king of Judah and all the men of war saw them, they fled, and went out to the city by night, by the way of the king's garden, through the gate between the walls. And he went out toward Arabah, but the army of the Casdim pursued them, and overtook Zedekiah in the plains of Jericho. When they had taken him, they brought him up to Nebuchadnezzar king of Babylon, to Riblah, in the land of Hamath, and he pronounced judgment on him. Then the king of Babylon killed Zedekiah's sons in Riblah before his eyes. The king of Babylon also killed all the nobles of Judah. Moreover, he put out Zedekiah's eyes and bound him in fetters, to carry him to Babylon. The Casdim burned the king's house and the houses of the people with fire, and broke down the walls of Jerusalem. Then Nebuchadnezzar, the captain of the guard, carried away captive into Babylon the residue of the people who remained in the city. The deserters also fell away to him, and the residue of the people who remained. But Nebuzaradan, the captain of the guard, left of the poor of the people, who had nothing, in the land of Judah, and gave them vineyards and fields at the same time. Now Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, commanded Nebuzaradan, the captain of the guard, concerning Jeremiah, saying, Take him and take care of him. Do no harm to him, but do to him even as he tells you. So Nebuzaradan, the captain of the guard, sent with Nebuchadnezzar, Rabsaris, and Nargal, Sharzir, Rabmag, and all the chief officers of the king of Babylon. They sent and took Jeremiah out of the court of the guard and committed him to Gedaliah, the son of Achim, and the son of Shaphan, that he would carry him home. So he lived among the people. Now the word of Yahweh came to Jeremiah while he was shut up in the court of the guard, saying, Go and speak to Ebed-melech, the Ethiopian, saying, This is what Adonai Sabaoth, the God of Israel, says, Behold, I will bring my words to the city for evil and not for good, and they will be accomplished before you in that day. But I will deliver you in that day, says Yahweh, and you will not be given into the hand of the men whom you are afraid. For I will surely save you, and you will not fall by the sword, but you will escape with your life, because you have put your trust in me, says Yahweh.